Okay, I'm the guy with the Spanish accent. So if I say things that sounds like a different language, I can repeat it. Just let me know, okay? Little bit about us. We've been nomads for about, this is our third or fourth year. They run together. The last 4 months, we did 12,000 miles. And we are full-timers. We sold the cabin, everything. One of the most important lessons that I learned is always to stay alert. And I don't want to be your teacher today because I have 50 teachers in front of me. So what I would like to do is tell you a little bit about how I keep safe, because this involves everybody here. Either you can be a weekender warrior, or you can be a nomad like we are. But the learning that you can get from me is this little if we put everybody together. So I'm just going to start more or less a little bit about me, about us, how we keep ourselves safe, and then I'm just going to open it up, and I'm going to ask you for you to participate. Is that okay? Yep. Cool. So the strongest weapon that we have is not what you think it is, okay? And I know I've seen people that have an armory in the van and this and that. Look, the strongest weapon that you have, and the one that is going to keep you safe, is your mind, your mindset. We have been, I always make fun, this last trip, we were somewhere in Montana. And over there you have rec.gov, it's amazing. You stay overnight for $7. So no reservations, you just park, fill the envelope, and you're in. So as we go to drop the envelope with the money, we see a wanted for murder sign. I have pictures. So that kind of, we looked at each other and we go like, really? I couldn't sleep. And there have been times that I've been at a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel, and my sleep is very light. Contrary to, I'm just going to give you something counterproductive, okay? Having weapons is not going to keep you safe. If anything, it's going to get you in more trouble. Okay, I'm not against them. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm a state firearm instructor for all 50 states, and for many, many years, I taught law enforcement, FBI's, everybody else. I'm not against them, but your mindset is what is going to keep you safety. Because most of the time that you use a firearm, the process behind you is going to be 6 months, and it's going to be very, very expensive. We don't want that. We want you to be safe, and we want you to go to your next destination as quickly as possible. So I want to stay away from that mindset. They're tools, okay? But I want to stay away from that mindset and learn from you what has kept you safe. Do you know that there are Walmarts that you can't stay? And same Cracker Barrels? Okay. Where else do you find, anybody here boondocking? Strictly boondocking. I did it, I'm proud. I did it for a long time. What were the markers that you were looking for to determine if a place was safe or not? First of all, location. Number two will be probably like that you're leveled, right? Nobody wants to, well, if you had the bougie van that you press the button and you have the levelers, but most of us don't. Most of us flat jacks. And try to use a flat jack in a Cracker Barrel, it's not too good, it doesn't look good. So can anybody here share your view on a situation that you were able to successfully stay safe? Please. Wait. Yes! Come on, get up. It's a great morning. Oh, yes. Hallelujah. Come on. I'll sing to you.
Oh, why did I say
I will sing to you.
Ay, por favor.
Ay, bendito, en español también.
Claro que sí.
Bueno,
Hi guys. So anyway, this is my first time coming into an event, and yesterday was my first night sleeping on my bed.
yeah!
So I don't know if what I have to share is gonna help you guys, but it's so simple. I planify. I check for a Planet Fitness to take a shower before go to bed, and then I look for a ER. Yeah. My van is mid-size, is small. I was supposed to get a big rig, but I rather not because I'm too visual. I'm gonna be hopefully the first female solo traveler from Colombia, doing all United States continuously. So it's kind of scary. Thank you. And sorry if I get emotional.
It's okay.
It's not easy. You know, we are raised with so many fears, especially Latin women. And it's, for me, I'm so proud that I slept for the first time. And that was my recommendation. We are fighting for whoever can do that.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Maria Victoria.
Maria Victoria, thank you. I appreciate your input and your kindness. While she was talking, something came to mind, and I heard like a year ago, welcome to the first van, this is my fourth. A little while ago, I heard somebody say, well, you shouldn't use bear spray. If you go to the West, buy bear spray, okay? It's cheaper here than over there. Like $30, $50. So somebody said to me, yeah, you shouldn't use bear spray on people because then they sue you. So I just want to establish some mindset best practices, because I think that if you have to worry about getting sued because you use bear spray, don't go van. This is not your life, okay? Your life is number one, okay? Good point. ER, where's the police? Oh, those are really, really good points. I don't do it, sorry. But you know what? I travel with a nurse, and I am a trained doula. I should know that. Actually, not the doula that you think. You know, everybody thinks birth doula. No, that's not me. I am a death doula, end of life doula. So thank you for bringing the medical establishment. And just to ease you, it doesn't matter if you're a Latin woman or if you are two guys traveling, safety is safety. And there's no difference. There's no difference. All of the safety meetings should not be gender basis. All of us, we're all one tribe. So going back to the bear spray, if you are in a self-defense situation, use whatever you got, okay? In most states, that is acceptable, and there's no legal, let me put this in legal terminology from my firearm trainings. If somebody is committing a felony against you, the legal arm on the civil side does not kick in. Does that make sense? So if somebody is breaking into your van or your castle, okay, they're committing a felony. They can't use the civil law, okay? In most states, that kicks in. So a little bit, let's stay safe, let's stay alive. Anybody else, any hairy situation?
Just a question. You said bear spray. Does that include pepper spray? Are they the same in your mind? Are they different? Okay.
Your name?
I'm
Where are
Michael.
you from?
I'm Michael from West Palm Beach. Well, I was yelling at you before.
How long you been?
We've been 5 years. This is our third time here.
Okay.
You mentioned bear spray.
Yep.
And we also know something called pepper spray. Is
Yep.
there a difference? And tell me, are they equal when it comes to protection? Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, don't have the technical, so this is homework for you. Go Google it. Okay? There are some sprays used, like mace, that do not have effect on animals. Okay? So that I don't have the technical, I wish I could answer your, I don't have the PhD. Okay? However, it's a good assignment. Most law enforcement use a product called Sabre, S-A-B-R-E. You can get it on Amazon. Please order one at a time, because if you order two, they'll have to ship it hazmat and they'll decline the order. So you can only order it one at a time. It's about $14, $15. Bear spray is a bigger canister and it goes 30, 40 feet. Okay? The components on the capsicum and all of those things, I do not know. However, I can guess if you spray bear spray on somebody, that person is going to be, and inhales it, that person is going to wish it was a bullet. Because the consequences are what you need. Bring down the threat. Okay? Staying safe is number one. Anybody else? Please share. No, you have to meet me halfway. Thank you so much for being a good sport.
Good morning.
So, name, how long you been?
Kim Jones is my name. Ooh, that's
Hi, Kim.
weird in front of the. I spent 30 years living on a sailboat. in the
Wow.
Caribbean. And part of that was as a single woman. So there's a couple things that we learned doing that, and it definitely parlays into being in the van. I've been in the van now for the last 2 years, and the Florida Van Gathering Group, thank you guys for fostering me so much. Couple things. As a single woman, get yourself a pair of men's shoes and put them outside, like boots, put them outside of your van if you're worried about that. In the boat, we used to use wasp spray, which, by the way, is flammable. But it also shoots about 25 feet. If ever you needed to keep someone away. And that is a pretty good way to do it. The other thing, assisted livings, there's a ton of them in Florida. There's in every state. If you go inside and tell them, I'm gonna park here overnight, they have no problem with that. Most of them have a lack of security now. They've cut back on so many of the costs for these facilities that they're happy to have somebody in the parking lot overnight keeping an eye on things. Hotels also. I have parked in multiple hotels. You just don't park right up front. You usually go to the back and you can park there, and you can actually go in and use their facilities in the morning. And if they're really friendly, they'll let you have breakfast. I can't think of anything else right now. For people who are camping by themselves, have 2 chairs. It looks like you've got someone with you. They assume that you've got backup. If somebody's casing you, which happens, if they see 2 chairs and 2 pairs of shoes, they're not going to bother you because they're outnumbered automatically.
Thank you. I think it's important for everybody here to know the difference between, the legal difference between a lethal weapon and a non-lethal weapon. Okay? And the reason for that is that in all 50 states, if the weapon is non-lethal, you're good. If it is, then there might be a lot of legal consequences with that. For instance, a lethal weapon would be a baseball bat, simple as that. A knife, anything that basically can take your life away when used against somebody. A taser is considered non-lethal. Okay? Pepper spray, non-lethal. So I wouldn't go with a taser into a military base because they have their own rules. So if you're in Key West and you want to stay at the Coast Guard, warning, common sense, mindset, okay? But you can carry things to defend yourself without the legal consequences. One little tidbit I have to, taser makes, I think it's called the pulse. The cups, the tasers that they carry is a 5-second shot. They zap you for 5 seconds, okay? The pulse is meant for you to use it. They go like 15 feet, but it zaps them for 30. So that might be a good alternative for you to Google it after the van show is over and see the prices and think, consider it. Anybody else? Give me some. Anybody has been in a? We charge you double for.
Yeah, I know.
No. I'm already here.
Given your background with firearms and police and whatnot, once you have sprayed somebody with pepper spray or performed a non-lethal action, what is your next step? I mean, it's call the authorities, run away. What are the good actions?
Good question. So you need to escalate, and I'm going to give you the escalation so you learn de-escalation. Is that okay? Okay. So once you use your non-lethal weapon, is your life still threatened? Yes. No. There are people that you can taser them and use the 30-second thing, and they're going to keep coming because somehow it just doesn't work. Ask any prison guard; they'll tell you that. Okay. So the point is, you need to be aware. You need to have the mindset. A tool bag. Have a tool bag, and in the tool bag you go the least lethal, all the way up to your best choice of. Okay. You need to remain safe. Is that an okay answer? I know I'm not telling you exactly because I feel that I serve you better if you use an escalation, and so you learn the de-escalation, and everybody's escalation point is going to be a little bit different. In the military, we have green, yellow, red, and somewhere in between is orange and whatever. So whatever works for you. And if you only have mace, the best way to deal with that situation is get the heck out of there. Do not engage. You're not here to be. If you can get away, it's your duty to avoid the confrontation. It's not who's right or wrong. It's I want to live tomorrow and I don't want to deal with you. So leave. Get out of there. Thank you. Name and how long you been?
My name's Carol. I am a total newbie to RVing.
Welcome.
I have a van. Florida is deliberately not friendly to boondockers. They do not allow us to park on any public property.
Yep.
Are there areas or states that people have found are friendly to boondockers?
It's very unfortunate that the present governor has even allowed to sign decrees to restrict and ban boondocking. Oh, excuse me, overnight parking. Okay, and I don't know what overnight is because I can be over there until 11:59. Move the van at 12 midnight. Is that overnight? Nobody knows, but the cops keep coming. Okay, places that are very friendly: Montana, Wyoming, Seattle. Oregon is starting to put some restrictions, and because everybody there does it. Okay, it's like overdone. Okay, but the West is a lot friendlier than here, and legislation here at the capital level promotes no overnight parking. And at the end, it's your tax dollars. Join the nonprofit organization that they founded, so you have at least a voice and a vote and noise. You need to make noise. Anybody else, please? I want a juicy story for safety. Anybody has a juicy? There we go. You're next.
I don't have a juicy story, but I want to put a fine point on something you
Please.
Good morning, everyone. Dan from Chattanooga, anti-terrorism, counterterrorism background. Everything the presenter said is spot on, but predicated on some of the questions, I want to point out that whenever you're getting security advice, there are a lot of people out there that watch television and they pass on what they think is valuable. Always evaluate the source and the information you're getting from that person. Last year we heard don't use wasp spray. Now the question is on pepper spray. When your life is in jeopardy, and that's a word to remember, there's a legal construct to jeopardy. There are 4 components to it. If you feel that you are in a state of grievous bodily harm by an adversary, to include death, you or loved one, or innocent other, 4 conditions must be present for jeopardy to exist. The adversary must demonstrate the first 3: ability, opportunity, and intent. Do they have the ability or the means by which to inflict grievous bodily harm upon you? A knife, a gun, a broken antenna off a Ford Transit, anything like that. That's the ability. Do they have the opportunity? So if the cameraman just pulled out a knife and started waving it at me, does he have the opportunity to commit grievous bodily harm upon me? No, because the courts have upheld the 21-foot rule. I have the opportunity to get away or move a reasonable distance away. Or if the person was in a wheelchair, yes, they have the opportunity, but they have the ability, they don't have the opportunity, because you can outrun it in most cases. Maybe not me, a wheelchair. And 3 is the intent. Well, if the knife is held like this and they don't say, I'm going to kill you, actions in the absence of words convey intent. Okay, courts have upheld that. So ability, opportunity, intent. And then the 4th is on your part, preclusion. Do you have the opportunity to get away from the threat? Which is the number 1 thing you should do, always separate yourself from the threat. Because distance, the U.S. Marine Corps came up with a theory for their combatants called left of bang. You should buy the book, read it. Safety and security, the best advice you can get is separate yourself from the threat as fast as you can, because you're going to have, sir, what we call an amygdala hijack. And you're going to have a chemical cocktail going on in your body, and it's going to take you seconds to come up from that valley of shock. That's where terrorists and criminals want to keep you. So they have the upper advantage. Time and distance are where they're going to keep you alive. Anyway, I don't mean to hijack you, sir, but I wanted to put a fine point on that. Also, I would go with, keep in mind too, I think, ma'am, you said that the wasp spray is flammable. Excellent. Just get a butane lighter and now you have a flamethrower.
I'm going to hold you. Stay here for a second. 2 things that come home to me. The 21-foot rule, the dueler, that's to clarify. When the police trains, they realize that they do this and they can land 2 shots within 2 seconds. So unholster, aim, and hit the center of mass within 2 seconds. So they measure, Dennis Tuller, I think is the one who did this, they measure, I think he was from the Seattle Police Department, 21 feet. An attacker can go from point A to point B in 2 seconds, 21 feet, okay? So anything under 21 and under, you are in a self-defense situation if the person has a knife, has a deadly weapon. Okay, level bang. In my past life, I taught Major League Baseball left to bang. Super book, great awareness. Talk about mindset. Please buy it. It's a thin book. It will absolutely change your perspective in life. Now he's good. So, do you have questions for him? Left of bang.
I want to introduce a good friend of mine, Dave, who's asked for the mic. So,
just to piggyback, I'm Dave Couvetier. I'm a retired FBI agent, SWAT guy, all that good stuff, hostage negotiator. I'm good friends with Dan. He worked at the State Department, and I can tell you this, that when we're talking about the 20-foot rule, we actually train with that. So on the SWAT team, we would actually be in front of a paper target, 10, 15 feet away. Behind us were the other FBI SWAT operators. So one of us on the line shooting, there's a line of us, and there's another line behind us, 21 feet away from us. So when the whistle blew, the mission of the guys behind us, they were pretending to be the guy with the knife. The cameraman is the guy with the knife. I'm the police officer. My gun is holstered. He decides, he's wheeling it, and he decides, I'm telling him, put it down. I'm trying to talk to him. I'm trying to de-escalate. When he decides, it's called action versus reaction. Basically what happens is, once he starts running at me, the untrained person basically goes into that, what the hell, that's 2 to 3 seconds. As you just heard, it only takes about 2 seconds for him to get from there to me, and he can stab me. So what we would do when the whistle blew, the guys behind us would run, and our job was to shoot the target at least once before we get stabbed. And what they're going to do is not going to stab us, obviously, but they're going to slap the back of our head. So it puts a little pressure on us as well. And every single time, the quickest one of us can get the weapon out and maybe get a shot off as we're being stabbed. And that happens to law enforcement officers all the time, and that's what winds up, I'm sorry, coming back to you guys. And then what happens is people always second guess officers, because when the officer walks up to a vehicle, action versus reaction, what the hell, right, 2 to 3 seconds. Once the person makes the decision that they're going to attack a police officer, the officer has to react to that. It's going to take too long. He's already behind the power curve. So that's when you see the police officer just basically have their hand on the weapon, trying to, minimize that reaction time. And people don't like that. And a lot of times what we used to do, we did it all the time, but the local office, because of politics and everything, they used to take the weapon out and put it behind them, again, just to be able to do that in 1 second versus 2 to 3 seconds. I just wanted to clarify that point that Dan and Juan, is it right? Bobby were making. Thank you very much. There you go.
I'm just going to piggyback on that. Left of Bang is a very small brown book. My partner, I made her read it. It's in the van 24/7. It teaches you mindset, okay? And that's the hardest part, because when you confront this, guess what your mind is going to be? Tunnel vision. And you're going to lose sight of everything else. You're going to go in that groove that he mentioned, and seconds count, okay? Anybody else with a juicy story? There, here we go.
My name is Trevor Johnston, and I'm from Indiana, Marine Corps. You learn in Marine Corps that, okay, sorry. You learn in Marine Corps, when I go somewhere, I still do it. I'll survey the situation. And when I was younger, I hung around in bars, that goes single. And when you get in there, you survey the situation, survey who you see in there, see who's watching you. And it's amazing, like he said, guys are behind you, guys are in front of you. And I always look for an escape route, always. I want to know where the doors are at. I don't care if it's the door you didn't come through, it might be another door. Like these guys that were killed in these different fires, the doors were locked. You look for a door that you can get out of, one you can get away through, I still do it. To this day, I still do that. And I always taught my wife, if you're somewhere and something does look sketchy, always look around the room. I learned in the Marine Corps, anything is a weapon. Anything is a weapon. I don't care if it's rolled up newspaper. That is a weapon. Go for the solar plexus, take a lamp off a counter, whatever it is, everything is a weapon. And it was really weird because I went to Italy and they have a lot of pickpockets. And it came in so handy. You survey the situation, and you see these guys, you can see exactly the look in their eyes. They're exactly what's going on as soon as you see it. And it was so handy for me because long story, but we're getting on the subway, the tube, whatever they call it over there. And I watched these people, and they're working in a crew. They were back and forth working. I could see them just signing each other with their eyes. And the door is ready to close, and this big lady flies out the door. This little guy flies out behind her, and the guy looks at him and goes, "I got hit." And you could see it before it even happened. So when you go somewhere, survey your situation. Even when you're here, survey your situation, look for an exit route. We never know what's gonna happen. Right now, you know, you could have an earthquake, you could have whatever. You know, no matter where I'm at, I'm always looking for somewhere to get out of it. I'm driving down the road, I'm always looking, if some guy cuts me off, I'm always looking for that exit route. Thank you.
Just an addition on left-off bang in the Marine Corps is called, I think it's a hunter program. So it's a matter of not being hunted. Do you have follow-up?
Well, two important points I think might be valuable. The security design philosophy, well, there are 93 approximately federal law enforcement agencies in our great country and over 60,000 local, state, city, tribal agencies. We all generally follow concentric rings of security design set, inner, middle, outer. So this is whether you're static in your home or in your RV driving down the road, always think in terms of concentric rings of security. The other two, your point, ma'am, it's natural to be fearful of a threat. So that's a negative neurological pathway. If I'm faced with a threatening situation, and I was one time in Sarajevo, I was walking down the hallway at night after my shift, and there was a real sketchy looking character coming my way, and I just stared him down, and he stared me down, and I kept saying to myself, looking good, going to Hollywood. Now that may not be true with a mug like this, but you say it's something like that twice, or easy peasy, I've got this, easy peasy, I've got this, and that's going to create a positive neurological pathway. The next morning I met him at breakfast. He was a Delta Force guy, and he said he thought I was sketchy, and if I looked the other way, he was going to jump on me. So anyway, and I'll just conclude, again, I don't want to hijack the microphone. My father was retired. He's a Golden Glove boxer, U.S. Navy, New York City detective for 26 years. When Bin Laden attacked the World Trade Center, he never left the house. Gavin DeBecker, great book writer, The Gift of Fear. Get that book. You buy it in a used bookstore for $1.75. It'll tell you a lot about fear, intuition, gut feeling. I recommend it to every single person here and your loved ones. This lady has it.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate you saying that about
So nice.
saying those positive things to yourself. I'm in this workshop because I don't think about safety as much as I believe I should as a van lifer. I'm one of those earthy crunchy, believe in the law of attraction. So I think if I'm constantly in fear, worried that I'm gonna get attacked, I'm gonna attract it to me. And your story sort of proves that, like, you started telling yourself positive things and it wasn't this horrible situation that you could have feared yourself into being and then gotten yourself attacked by this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we're constantly worried, and again, I appreciate the advice from the ex-Marine, yes, you want to look at your surroundings. I don't do that because I think that if I'm constantly worried that something bad is going to happen, oh my God, I got to find the exits, and I'm going to be attracting that to me. So I really like how you put that. I think that is a great way, if you start feeling fear, to sort of, you warded off an attack, I feel, from your positive mindset. And I'm not saying that we should all just walk around thinking positive, but I'm trying to figure the balance between that. I don't want to be attracting bad situations to myself.
Look, I understand the positive side of this because you manifest what you attract, okay? And you can prove that scientifically. However, this is about having a mindset of education and having a tool bag, so if something comes your way, you have the agency to react correctly with the tools that you have here, okay? And not worry is praying for bad things, okay? So one of the things that you have to understand is the physical reaction that your body is going to have, tunnel vision, things like that. If you program yourself to learn about fear and put positive thoughts in your thought process, big difference, okay? However, being prepared is super important. Guys, I'm a pinch hitter here. I feel like a baseball game. So my time is up. I'm sorry if anybody wanted the mic and I hogged it a little bit too much. If this is of any value, if you enjoy the exchange, let Josh know, because feedback is important. Feedback is a present, okay? Unfortunately, we do it negatively too much, but once in a while, after putting something like this big, it's good to get good feedback. So let him know and give him your thoughts, okay? Thank you again.